Did you, during your time in Iraq and Afghanistan, did you witness any atrocities there?
I did not witness them directly with my own eyes, but I was involved in or privy to atrocities that had occurred, which there were investigations therein of some pretty damning evidence. For example, in 2009 in Nirk province, in Helmand, or the Nirk um, region of Nirk in the Helmand province, where individuals were, Afghan villagers, men were killed by an SFODA and then later covered up, and that was discovered that it did happen. And the Kunduz bombing in 2015 in the north, where the Médecins Sans Frontières, the MSF hospital, was bombed, and the notion under which, oh, we didn't know it was there, that's a lie. The the Matt Goldstein, who went into Marja in 2010, who took it upon himself as a vigilante criminal to kill an Afghan male that he felt was guilty of doing something, though there was no, evidence to that. Um, so yes, atrocity after atrocity after atrocity has happened in Afghanistan and Iraq and in Syria. I mean, look at in Iraq with Eddie Gallagher, the Navy SEAL, who was, you know, cutting people's heads off and taking pictures with them in front of the American flag. Like, we know this. We know this. And you have people like Hegseth and Trump who pardon war criminals. And it is a dangerous, dangerous precedent to set. And it is a dangerous road to go down, not only for our own military, but also in the eyes of the world, to see that, to where the United States is losing the trust of the world. We are losing the trust of allies and partners as a dependable ally or partner. We are we are pushing away important partnerships and alliances and relationships, all for Israel, and that is dangerous.
I'm going to ask you a question. I'm not even thinking of it internally. It's an uncomfortable question for me to ask. You started your work on the ground started mid-May. And last time we spoke, I'd asked you how frequently were you witnessing these atrocities, essentially war crimes occurring? And you had said that on a daily basis, there was in one form or another,
Every
there
day.
was some atrocity. And I want to know what, again, forgive me, what what took so long to for you to make up your mind to say like this is what was the one event that you said this is the red line that the world needs to
It was
see?
a combination of events, because what I had saw from the very beginning were violations of international humanitarian law for where the sites were built, how we were just doing distribution, the fact that we were controlling and limiting water and food. And from my perspective, this was a private contract. This was not a government contract. This was a private entity providing a private service to the government of Israel. And at every instance that I witnessed, I brought these things up to the leadership in terms of, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. And throughout was told, well, that's not wrong, because that our lawyers say that that doesn't violate Geneva Convention, because Israel's fighting Hamas and they're not a nation. I'm like, that doesn't matter. Like, I'm pretty well versed in Geneva Convention and international humanitarian law as a United States Army officer who's been fighting in war my entire life, adult life. That's not true. What At the point, I had not yet been convinced of, or did I see behind the curtain that all of it is intentional. The ignorance and the lack of experience is present, but that's not what's led to the fact that these sites are built where they're built, or operated how they're operated, or the shooting and the indiscriminate shooting and the use of force. What broke for me is that I realized, I learned, and I saw that this is all intentional. This is all
Hmm.
part of a plan. the way that the distribution sites are run and operated is part of the design within the Israeli operational plans in Gaza to forcefully displace, starve, and kill the population. It's not an accident. It's not ignorance. It's not lack of experience. It's not that GHF is failing. GHF is succeeding greatly in their complicity in their part of this genocide, the displacement and the starvation. It came clear to me on late June, mid June, when a IDF officer was going to have his snipers shoot at unarmed, non-combatant children at site number 2, who were on a berm because they were being crushed. And he was ordering his snipers to shoot these children. The Safe Reach Solutions director of operations in the control room, in the operations center, a guy named Kevin Sullivan, made it very clear to me, don't say no to the client. At that point, it then became unequivocally clear to me that the IDF are our client. We work for them. That violates every principle of humanitarian assistance and humanitarian aid, of impartiality, independence, neutrality, humanity, or humanitarian principles. So it became very clear to me that we are not there to feed the population. We are there as a mechanism to further starve the population. We are not there to safeguard or care for or have the population survive. We are there as a mechanism of displacement, death, and at some point, whoever survives this onslaught will then be transferred, as they call it, somewhere else. And it became very clear to me that we are not bystanders in this. We are the actor. We are the partner in this. And I couldn't be a part of it anymore.
Uh, especially in the last month, I've had this thought bouncing around in my head that the UG Solutions, this UG Solutions GHF partnership, it almost looks like it's being used as a vehicle to import sort of like a PMC.
Absolutely. That's exactly what it is. It is a rebranded Blackwater or a rebranded Triple Canopy. It's the same old it's the same old paramilitary contracting, just wrapped in a different packaging.
Hmm. I had two questions for you, just forward thinking. Um, are you aware, do you know who Kenneth O'Keefe is?
No.
Kenneth O'Keefe was another U.S. veteran who partook, I think, in 2010 or 11 on another flotilla that was headed to Gaza, the Mavi Marama, I think, and they were very fortunate to have him there because a unit had boarded the ship, and I think 9 or 10 people were killed, and Mr. O'Keefe was one of the individuals I think who had prevented further death. Are you willing in the future to participate in a flotilla to Gaza?
I had been trying very hard to get onto this one.
Hmm.
As it was organized and in the days that it was organized, I wasn't even aware of it. And
Yeah.
so I wasn't on the early days of planning. And then as it came closer to going, I had asked to be on it. And the ability to coordinate to get me there in time to Barcelona to go through the training, the nonviolence training, and then get on the boat was, it was I had I had missed the opportunity. Recently, an opportunity had come to where there was another boat that was leaving from Antantro in Italy, and I was going to fly to Brindisi, catch the train, get the training, get on the boat, and catch up with the rest of the flotilla east of Greece, heading towards Gaza. And the timing wise, in terms of me being able to get there, didn't work, and um, I'm deeply saddened by that. I feel extremely guilty that I'm not there and a part of it. I feel um, I really I really tried to be on this one with my veteran peers and my veteran comrades, and to be there as another aspect of protection in a way, to bring attention to it, to where if the Israelis are going to heighten their violence, that it would come at a cost of, hurting, wounding, or killing veterans. It would add dilemma into their decision of, having additional veterans added to the flotilla in terms of, which boats they're on. So I really, I will participate in the future. I really, really tried and wanted to be on this one because I think it is very important that the world not look away and not forget or not get caught up in the next news cycle of either the government shutdown or the Epstein files or um, what have you, that we forget and we take our eyes off of Gaza. That is what mainstream media, what the administration, what the Israelis, that is what they want, is to discredit the flotilla as just this Hamas flotilla. They call it that now. Discredit it in the eyes of the world community so that they can take action against it. And then in the end, after they kill people, can then just say, oh, they were Hamas. If anyone thinks that the Israelis are not capable of killing people on these flotillas, you're wrong. They've done it before. They've done this before. If you think that they're not capable of violating every aspect of international humanitarian law and blowing up a boat full of civilians, delivering humanitarian aid in open water, in open international water, you're wrong. They will do it. They bombed Qatar without any justification. They Israel has become a pariah, and they do not comport or follow international humanitarian law, Geneva Convention, international customs and conventions and laws that the rest of the world follows. They are they they have exercised and have enjoyed such impunity that they will do whatever they seem fit. And I think that the flotilla is at great risk. And I wanted to be a part of it, to add myself to that calculus of making Israel second guess what boat they shoot or attack, or if they attack, or how they attack, or even if it were, succeeding in getting to the coast and establishing a bridgehead, a a tip of the spear, if you will, onto the beach to then create a humanitarian corridor directly into Gaza through the sea. That me being there, I can greatly assist in establishing those operations, establishing that process, organizing. I mean, I'm not saying I'm the only one that could do it. I'm saying that I could contribute to that. It's what I did for 25 years as an Army officer, planning, coordinating, executing, doing those things under some pretty austere and risky situations. I feel that I could have been very valuable to either the success of establishing an additional corridor, or simply just my presence there as a deterrent to what Israel may do, or if whatever Israel does, the cost for them politically is higher. So yeah, I really tried. I'm still trying to figure out a way, like if I could get to, Libya and take a fishing boat out to the rest of the flotilla because they're under sail power. So maybe if I can get someone under an engine powered boat and catch up, or if I can leave out of Cairo or something to join the flotilla as they approach. I think what we're going to likely see is a sea skirmish line, or a defensive line that Israel will establish just within the territorial waters at the 12 nautical mile position. And then
What do you
it
think
was
of how do you see these events unfolding with Italy's two ships that have left port to aid the flotilla? I believe Greece has sent one, Spain has sent one as well.
Spain has sent a battleship. Italy was going to send battleships, but they replaced it with a frigate. Not as strong of a position, but still very, very important. Greece has the ships that they said that will protect the flotilla through territorial waters of Greece, which that they will soon be out of the territorial waters of Greece as they approach Gaza. So I don't know if Greece intends to stay or go. I hope they stay.
So far, I
That
think every attack on any flotilla in the last 20 years has come between 100 to 180 kilometers off the coast of Gaza. So
Yeah,
there seems to be a
they're
zone.
approaching that red line.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that east of that red line, probably close to, not entirely out of, they'll probably use some justifications of a preemptive defense to establish a defensive line of Navy vessels to a certain point to say, hey, if you cross through this blockade, then we're justified to start attacking you openly. And I have no doubt that Israel will do that, and I have no doubt that the flotilla won't back down. Like they're not going to back down. So it's highly likely that people will be injured or people will die because of the actions of Israel if the United States doesn't get involved. If the United States gets involved and sends an aircraft, or excuse me, sends a naval vessel or an aircraft fleet to protect the armada, to at least defend them, the flotilla to at least defend them, at least send a message. The United States can easily do this. This is not hard.
Yes.
I mean, we put the resources to put together a freaking parade in Washington D.C. to entertain our emperor. We easily can put together some type of mechanism to protect this flotilla diplomatically, politically, and militarily, but we won't. So because the United States won't, and the United States won't say anything about it, that gives Israel a green light.
I know we're just about over time. I do have one more question if you have a minute or two
Yeah,
to give. Um, I want to know if anyone from the ICC has approached you for testimony for a case against Israel, of course, because you have firsthand experience. Uh, and if not, would you be willing to testify at the ICC or other judicial venues?
representatives that are pursuing various avenues for legal action to the ICC have contacted me for, just like for some background. But I have not been asked or approached to testify. I most certainly would, without question, I would.
Mr. Aguilar, I really appreciate your time. If you would be generous with your time, I want to review the interview and maybe
Yeah,
I wouldn't take an hour, half of your time. Maybe if we could share a email correspondence to
yeah.
for
Email
some
or we'll
follow-up.
do another discussion, whatever works for you. I'm
I
available.
appreciate it. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thank you. You as well. Appreciate it.